materials that actually function. Let me tell you what happens when you do a series like Bringing Back Alive. Bruce Boxleitner is wearing boots and khakis. I'm wearing open-toed, high-heeled shoes, running up and down the same hills, taking the same stunts, swinging on the same ropes, and doing the same fights. So, but because we're seen a certain way, but costumes, you're right, have to be made more functional and more practical, and there can be more action in such a case.
I saw, there was a great post on, I think it was Comic Books and Resources, saying that in costumes, male superheroes are idealized and women superheroes are objectified.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was a terrific way of looking at it. It's the ideal version versus parts. Which is why when I took on the Wonder Woman situation, let's pull away from that a bit. Let's give her pants, a jacket, give her something where she looks like more what the idealized version is, where it's just more about the person not wearing a bikini all the time. And I think that as long as we have characters that are being more objectified, they'll be taken less seriously than characters who are more idealized.
And will she be more relatable? Will she be more of an inspiration and a role model for girls? Because I can be a Wonder Woman and be a real person. Is there?
Well, I think with the new costume, you're literally giving her more layers. You're giving the character more layers to peel off and to get to the core of the essence of who she is. Just literally by adding pieces of clothing.
And the reason the question, if she had always worn pants and a jacket and a top, and we moved back to the bikini outfit, can you imagine the reaction?
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
I have to say something. Actually, I want to say two things about that. First of all, here at the convention, all over the area around the convention here in San Diego, there are people in costume, and there are also representations. There's art up. Everywhere, when you see a superheroine, the one you see the most is Wonder Woman, and she's wearing her traditional costume, because this is iconic. Her costume is iconic. Just like Superman's costume with the big red S on his chest is iconic. Okay, now you have given a reason as to why you're changing her iconic costume. But I have to ask you, you're saying you're making it, you're getting rid of the hypersexualization, right? And I understand that because I see up there's Wonder Woman falling out of her outfit. Somebody else was falling out of her outfit, even Wonder Woman who she is. But if this is the case, then how do you feel about Jim-Lee's cover, where Wonder Woman is sporting these enormous breasts that are larger than her head? This is the first thing you see when you look at that image. How do you feel about that?
I usually don't do the right to breast size.
That's the artist's job.
Yes. My reaction, whenever I see it in the pages that come in for me for approval, and I see there's one shot in the issue coming up where she's leaping toward us, and you're being attacked by her breasts primarily. And I wrote back and said, guys, cut this back. This is not what the scene is about. So I think that you're right, to a certain degree, whenever you're not seeing Superman with a big package walking around. Maybe you're at the convention, but not So yeah, there is that hypocrisy, and I try to do where I can within the pages of the book, but sometimes the concept art is done because when a guy walks by a lingerie store, getting mid-sets and talking about going to the farm tomorrow and see a friends, and then we can see Bob, you just stop. You have a brain freeze, or you see breasts, whatever, wax, paper, it doesn't matter. And so they know that the comic fan will go and zero in. I think it's not something I say approve of, but it's what artists tend to do.
So you have no say, exactly.
Not in the covers and not in the kind of promotional art. The interior art I tend to get into, and I also told Don to cut the butt shots down a bit, because there's something that her ass is really in frame. It's like, oh, man.
I just have a question. With the change of the costume, do you think that there is a chance that it's going too far? Because isn't there a way to make it so that she's not objectified, but she still has her iconic, so that she's recognizable, I guess, is my point. I don't want her to come out and we don't know it's Wonder Woman, is my point.
Sure, well, this part here is primarily close to what she used to have before. Jim Lee said it was actually welded to her back, and it's not. He did actually cut it, it turns out. No, she can't take the jacket off, and when she does, she means business. When that jacket comes off, you're going to get your ass kicked. So I wanted to have that moment of seeing that come off, and then from basically we would just do a shot from her from the waist up. It looked like official Wonder Woman.
Okay, now, before you leave, Cindy, you are part of the Your Lives campaign, right? Because
This is true. This is probably one of the most wonderful times to be a person who loves film, because it's no longer three guys sitting in a back room chomping on cigars making decisions. What happened was, about a year ago, I got a good question from a couple of good interviews, friends of Cats. In fact, it was Mark from somewhere in Vegas, who said, why aren't you in the Neutron? I said, I don't know. My phone rings, so yeah. So he started a little campaign online just for fans to go to. It's turned into thousands and thousands of folks who have joined. It's the Facebook page primarily, Your Lives. And what's happened is it's gone to the point where it's been picked up by the press. It's been mentioned by the LA Times, Cinematical. It's coming out. Movie Phone did a remarkable article that just came out 2 days ago. And what's happening is this, just so you know, these guys are very savvy. They are listening to what you're saying. Every night they've got web crawlers, and I don't mean people, I mean they've got the mechanics that go out there. They read the blogs, they read your words, they pay attention to what you want, what you love, and the next morning they've got a report on their desk. And so when someone says, am I going to be in the Neutron Legacy? I was with these guys a couple months ago. They just looked down a little bit. The truth is, they're reading your blogs. It's up to you. So congratulations to the fans. You're making us all. My apologies for leaving early. I'll be at 23, but please stay for this because, gosh, I wouldn't say the whole thing. I'm very proud to be part of this panel. Thank you very much.
any more questions for Marjorie or Joe Krasinski?
Yeah. You were saying that the rules for movies and TV are a little different, but like when I think of female strong characters, I think of like Babylon 5 and Ivanova and Delenn. They also have very modest outfits throughout the entire series. But do you think that would help basically showcase strong females that help push them towards movies? Because there's a lot of movies that came from TV shows.
Film guys look at TV as a lower art form, so it's hard to get them to get anything that we do with television and apply it to the film part of it, which is unfortunate because, again, going back to Buffy for a second, that's written by Joss Whedon and his cadre of nutbars. Massively talented, and it's probably the best show I've ever seen with a female actor. I worked on Murder, She Wrote, which had a female lead, Angela Lansbury, which, by the way, was a really cool show to work for because she was so strong, so smart, and it wasn't about being sexual because, it wasn't what she did. It was about being smart and capable and resourceful, and I love writing these kind of characters. But trying to get the film guys to see that from the same side is a much harder thing to do. They just don't look at television the same way. It's an orphan child.